Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. Flood warnings continue and more rain is on the way this weekend.
Called the city at 5 p.m. yesterday to have a culvert opened up.
Some now being told to prepare or even evacuate if it comes to it. Plus, one Timmins resident says the thought of a mat tax affecting his business is ridiculous.
The lower my occupancy is, the less they make. The city makes.
He says the city needs to be focused on things like repairing his road. And more money for groups in Algoma.
This would take care of all of the patients who were derostered back in 2024.
The MPP for Algoma Manitoulin doles out provincial funds for primary care.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. We begin once again tonight with an eye on the weather. Flood warnings have now been issued for several waterways in Greater Sudbury, including the Whitson River, Vermilion River, Onaping River, and Junction Creek. Overland flooding is already happening in several low-lying areas in some areas, and waterways are seeing higher flows. This a look at the Whitson tonight in Chelmsford, where Conservation Sudbury says it's seeing a rise at a rate of about 63 centimeters a day. Residents on Belanger Street are being told to prepare to leave if required. CTV's Elena Everson starts us off tonight.
Matthew Scarrow has lived in this house his entire life and says water started flowing into the basement around 3:30 Thursday afternoon.
Called the city at 5 p.m. yesterday to have a culvert opened up, and they showed up at 6 o'clock in the morning after 3 more phone calls.
Scarrow's French Mastiffs were curious about what was going on. Friday morning, the city was on site to pump the floodwater. Conservation Sudbury says the main branch of the Whitson River is high and continues to rise in Valcarran and Chelmsford.
We are seeing a continued rise, increasing rates in Chelmsford area. Specifically, we're concerned about the area next to we have a flood control berm next to Belanger Street in Chelmsford, and we're watching that spot very closely.
Jorgensen says at the current rate of rise, it could overtop that berm, and that the Vermilion River is also significantly increasing.
Well, there's already water over Larchmont Drive. The road is closed, but we're anticipating that to continue as much as half a meter a day.
Scarrow believes flooding on his street from the Whitson River could have been prevented.
If they would open up these ditches yesterday or a week ago and had all the snow cleaned out so the water could flow.
Scarrow says as a taxpayer, he is frustrated.
Spending, $250, $300 million on an arena or doing some maintenance, I don't know. I think there's higher priorities and stuff like that.
The city says it has sandbags available at 5 public works depots. The city tells us there was no one available for an interview today. We contacted Mayor Paul LaFive's office, but he is unavailable as he is in Pickering at big city mayor meetings. Elena Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Central Manitoulin over the dinner hour advising residents Minda Moya could see more flooding over the weekend. Municipal officials say they've been told by the Provincial Emergency Operations Center that approximately 20 millimeters of rain is expected by tomorrow morning. They've also been warned the MNR will be removing half a log from the Big Lake Dam tomorrow. Areas impacted will include Highway 542 from Elliott Road to Highway 551, Highway 551 from Highway 542 to Hares Creek, Thorne Street from Forest Street to Yonge Street, and Forest Street from Thorne Street to Highway 542. They add flooding could last overnight to Sunday morning. In French River's latest update, residents are being told to take immediate action to safeguard their properties and prepare. In areas like Wolseley Bay, Ranger Bay, and Dry Pine Bay, water levels will approach those in 2019 and may result in road washouts, flooding, and infrastructure damage. A provincial team is on site helping with sandbag filling. Sandbags remain available for those in need. And a sandbag station is now opened in Kagawong for those impacted Billings residents. It's at the Public Works Garage on Carter Crescent, and it's self-serve. They're asking everyone to consider lending a hand, particularly when it comes to checking in on those more vulnerable in the community. Affected property owners we spoke with say they're working at pumping the water out. CTV's Madison Marier continues our team coverage.
Pump generators can be heard in many locations around the city as Sudburyans try to keep up with the water flow.
The phones are usually ringing off the hook. We do have technicians who are on emergency call, so they can be called out any time of day or night. So we've had a few technicians that have had a few all-nighters this week, trying to take care of some of the folks that have had flooding in their basements.
Sometimes it's just a little tap. Other times they need a new sump. So we have some pumps that pump automatically that we could put temporarily in places and that kind of thing. But we can't help everybody. There's only so much time.
Some conditions have improved, and many people are trying to empty the first few rounds of flooding before more rain is expected to come on Saturday. And businesses are doing their best to keep up.
Availability for things has been challenging sometimes. So if you get there early in the morning, it's not as bad. But like I said, this job here, we just needed some pump hoses. We checked 4 places in the evening and wasted an hour of our time running around.
We've reordered stock probably about 3 times this week so far. We've probably had between 50 and 60 minimum. Some pumps go off the shelves this week. Lots in the store as well as lots in folks' homes.
Falls says around 95% of their calls are people needing immediate assistance with flooding, and the remaining want to upgrade their current setup for future concerns.
It's a very stressful time for homeowners. Lots of folks do have insurance claims that get started. It's actually a very emotional time for them, and usually they're very grateful.
White says removing the water is just a first step, and to check under subflooring as not all water is always visible. He also recommends using fans and dehumidifiers to prevent mold growth that may cause issues further down the line. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
The North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority says water levels earlier this week in North Bay's Chippewa Creek were the highest since 1980. The Conservation Authority says it will start operating the back flood control structure at the mouth of Parks Creek on Lake Nipissing along Lakeshore Drive. The stop logs have been added to the Parks Creek Dam, and the internal pump turned on to draw down the creek in anticipation of rising water. Data shows water levels on Lake Nipissing have been rising 10 centimeters a day.
We are nervous about where that water level will continue to go, because we know that in the Sturgeon River watershed and in the Veuve watershed, which are significant contributors to Lake Nipissing, there's a lot of water moving through those systems, and they have not yet plateaued. There's a lot of snowpack still in those areas.
The city of North Bay is making sand and sandbags available this weekend at filling stations. Those are located at Sunset Park at the end of Sunset Boulevard and Champlain Park at the end of Premier Road. Well, in other news, a 5-month investigation has come to an end. Police have arrested an 18-year-old in Ajax, wanted in connection to the shooting death of DeAndre Doreen last November. Deshaun Prince Wesley is being charged with first-degree murder. On November 5th, Doreen and another person were shot at an apartment on 5th Avenue. Doreen was pronounced dead at the scene, while the other was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. A teenager has died in New Sudbury after being struck by a vehicle last night. Just before 10 p.m., police were called to Westmount and William Avenues for a collision between a vehicle and a pedestrian. The 17-year-old girl was taken to hospital where she died of her injuries. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Police have arrested 2 teens after gunshots were reported at an Elliott Lake apartment complex. OPP were called to an apartment building on Willoughby Road just before 5 yesterday morning after reports of gunshots outside the building. 2 18-year-olds, a man and a woman, were arrested on charges of discharging a firearm in a reckless manner. A terrible section of Norman Street in Timmins is drawing complaints from a local hotel. Cedar Meadows Resort and Spa says the road's condition is now affecting its bottom line. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
This is a ride along Norman Street in Timmins. The gravel stretch, which runs along the river and in front of Cedar Meadows Resort and Spa, is riddled with potholes. Mayor Michelle Boileau says last year's flooding destroyed the asphalt.
And the city had deemed it safer to just remove the asphalt and to pulverize.
Since then, the condition of Norman Street has created a range of annoyances, issues, and even lost revenue for Cedar Meadows.
I put out about 2 or 3 emails a week, maybe 4 emails sometimes in a week to get that road done.
We have a grader going out there 2 to 3 times a week. It's being monitored daily by administration, senior staff.
One pothole we measured was 5 inches deep. Cedar Meadows officials say it's caused problems with delivery trucks and getting their staff to work on time.
The city buses won't even come down Norman right now. Our food trucks that supply us, Dragonfly won't come down, Purelator won't come down. The city cabs, when we call a cab for one of our guests.
By no means is that the welcome mat we want to be rolling out for visitors to the communities. So like I said, we are paying close attention.
Willow says she's been told a full reconstruction of the road is required, but residents shouldn't expect that to happen this summer.
I don't know what to say to that other than they have to do something. Because, I mean, we pay our taxes, we do everything that we possibly can to do our side of running a business.
In addition to the road situation, Cedar Meadows says it was required to pay $40,000 for water system repairs on municipal property in January, and its guests will have to pay 2% more to stay there after council increased the municipal accommodation tax.
The lower my occupancy is, the less they make. The city makes. So you think they would put some kind of an urgency to make that road viable.
The mayor says the city will continue working with Cedar Meadows to ensure the road is maintained at a minimum standard. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have our full weather forecast. For now, a look at the rain forecast, and this is what has local officials so concerned. Take a look at this right now. This is the forecast for Saturday. We've got a system making its way into the area from Michigan. By about 1 p.m. on Saturday, we're going to start to see some of those levels in Wawa, Sault Ste. Marie, 9 millimeters. But by the end of day Saturday, there we go. It's going to be a lot more rain, and that is changing as we speak. That was into the 20s a short time ago. Now 17 millimeters for North Bay, 13 millimeters for Parry Sound. That is good news. We've got some weather warnings. My buttons are sticky. 20 to 30 centimeters, 20 to 30 millimeters in the yellow, 10 to 20 millimeters in the gray, and let's see if we can get to the current conditions. There are the current conditions. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back in just a moment.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Lots of rain in the northeast overnight and for tomorrow. Lots of it, so we'll get to those numbers momentarily. You can see that number gradually increase with the tenacity or the veracity of the actual system moving in. It's going to be heavy in some cases, thunderstorm activity and lots of rain. So if you've been plagued by water, get those sump pumps and get some help. Get some sandbagging going because you may need it for tomorrow. Here we go. Sudbury Nickel Belt showers 15 to 25 millimeters at 10. Chance of flurries on Sunday on the big cool down at -1. 4 degrees Monday, some sunshine. Tuesday, chance of sleet 60%. 10 degrees. 14 Wednesday, sun and cloud. More sun and cloud Thursday, warming up to 15. So that's the good story after the rain. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, showers tomorrow, 10 to 15 millimeters. There's also some shower activity overnight. 2 degrees your high. Flurries on Sunday, -1. 4 Monday, sunny skies. Tuesday, chance of sleet at 12. 14 Wednesday and 15 on Thursday, well above your normal of 10 degrees for this time of the year. Timmins Cochrane Kapuskasing showers tomorrow, 10 to 20 millimeters at 6, your high. Snow on Sunday, -3, just periods of snow right now according to Environment Canada. Monday, chance of flurries at 2, 9 degrees Tuesday, some sleet, showers or flurries. Chance of flurries on Wednesday at 13. Thursday, 14 degrees, some sun and cloud in your forecast. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, showers tomorrow, 10 to 20 millimeters at 13, -1 Sunday, chance of flurries. Monday, 3 degrees with sunshine. Tuesday, some sleet at 8. Chance of sleet at 30% Wednesday, 13 and 14 degrees come Thursday with the sun and cloud again, well above your normal of 10. North Bay, West Nipissing, showers tomorrow, 15 to 25 millimeters, risk of a thunderstorm at 13. Only 1 Sunday, chance of flurries, 4 degrees on Monday, sunny skies. Tuesday, chance of sleet, 7 showers or flurries, take your pick. Chance of sleet again on Wednesday at 13. 15 Thursday with the sun and clouds. So Ian, a very, very wet day, as you well know, in the French River area for tomorrow. So a lot of people have grave concerns about the status of tomorrow's rainfall. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. Back to you on the desk.
Absolutely. We are all watching closely. Thanks, Rick. Thousands of Sault Ste. Marie residents are going to be reattached to primary care as a result of provincial funding today. Algoma Manitoulin MPP Bill Rosenberg visited the border city, delivering nearly $5 million for a pair of projects. CTV's Corey Northstrom reports.
Provincial funding to the tune of $2.3 million will allow the Sault's Group Health Centre to connect 7,900 patients with primary care. Group Health will use the funds to employ professionals from their Grow Your Own Nurse Practitioner program. This will fulfill the 2027 target for rostering patients at the Access Care Clinic, a stopgap system created to support orphaned patients.
To date, we've attached 7,000. So this would take care of all of the patients who were derostered back in 2024, and all of those patients that have also had access to the Access Care Clinic because of more recent retirements.
We've seen the Group Health Centre a few years ago. Everything was negative and everything was falling apart, and I think with the funding and with her direction, they've come a long ways.
Rosenberg, the closest progressive conservative MPP to the Sioux, also stopped at City Hall to unveil almost $2.5 million from the province's health and safety water stream. Increased storm runoff has been impacting homeowners in the northwest portion of the city in recent years, with this money going toward 3 stormwater management ponds by the Elliott Park Field, the railroad tracks on Peoples Road, and the cemetery near 4th Line.
It has become much more prone to flooding over the last, say, 10, 15 years. And so there has been lots of development in the area, which has covered up a lot of area that previously absorbed a lot of water. So this will help offset those new developments by creating stormwater ponds to ensure that the water can be absorbed properly.
We have so much aging infrastructure, not only in the Sioux, but all across all our small communities. And we know how important clean water and getting rid of that water, that excess drainage, is so important.
The project for those ponds will go to tender this year and are expected to be built next spring. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Meanwhile, around $3 million in provincial money is going towards major health upgrades in Wikwemkong unceded territory. MPP Rosenberg also announcing today around half that money will go to supporting the First Nations Primary Care Action Plan, which will build capacity for EMS and ambulance services. The other half is being set aside for the First Nation to establish its own primary health care team in the community with 12 staff members, including 2 full-time nurse practitioners. The clinic will be operated at the existing health center adjacent to the First Nations long-term care home.
For many years, I know our leadership and chief and council have been advocating, and our health department has been advocating this for many years, because we got to travel for our membership to get some proper health care needs, at least a 30 to 40-minute drive one way.
At the same time, Omanika says the First Nation will continue to attract more physicians and an expansion of services down the line to focus on families, elders, and children. West Nipissing General Hospital's emergency department remains closed tonight. A physician's shortage temporarily closing the department today at noon. In a release today, the hospital in Sturgeon Falls indicated normal operations would be resuming sometime this evening. Good news for students in Cochrane tonight. Aileen Wright English Catholic School will reopen Tuesday for in-person learning. This comes after engineers reviewed the condition of the building, which has been closed all week due to a partial roof collapse. Some areas of the school will remain closed and off limits as a precaution. There will be some final testing Monday morning, but the board says it expects students back in class Tuesday. Still ahead tonight on CTV News. The Hounds need a win to stay in the OHL playoffs. We'll head to Kitchener after the break. Their backs were against the wall tonight, but that didn't stop the Sioux Greyhounds from drawing first blood against the Kitchener Rangers in OHL playoff action.
Campbell here for Tanner Lamb. Puck bounces off Lamb's stick. Shot there. There's a chance for scores!
Quinn McKenzie was parked out front of the net to score not even 60 seconds into the first period. This the first time that Kitchener didn't score first in the entire postseason. The Rangers, however, would follow that up with 3 straight goals. 2 more in the dying minutes of the third as the Hounds pulled goalie Carter George. That would be all she wrote. The Sioux falls to Kitchener 5-1 and has now been eliminated, losing the best of 7, 4 games to 1. That's it for Northern Ontario's OHL season, but well done, Hounds, Troops, and Wolves. You made us all proud. Meanwhile, over in the NOJHL, it was Game 2 of the finals between Sudbury and Timmins down at the Countryside Arena in Sudbury. And the Cubs are now up by 2. Sudbury winning tonight by a score of 4-3. Timmins managing to close that game to only 1 goal. Game 3 is Tuesday night in Timmins. The Sioux curling season is abuzz, with the city's 2-time Olympic gold medalist set to return to his hometown club this weekend. This Sunday, the Sioux Curlers Association is hosting a meet and greet with Brad Jacobs. The Olympic champion will be on hand at an open house from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., where people can try out the sport after that. The gold medalist will sign autographs and meet with fans. Officials with the curling club say excitement is building for the event and that Jacobs is a role model for many youth.
We've seen our programs expand because of it. People are looking at curling a little bit differently now that we have him in our club. They want to take a look at it. They want to give it a try for themselves, especially these young people. Our Little Rocks program has grown. He's actually often come out and helped as well. So it's just an opportunity for them to get around a top athlete and get an idea of what the mindset it takes to go that far in the sport of curling.
The event comes as the city will be officially unveiling its plans to rename this street in front of the curling club, Team Jacobs Way. 2 northern women are preparing to take the stage for Miss Indigenous Canada. As CTV's Amanda Hicks tells us, they aren't just chasing a crown. They're hoping to rewrite what it means to be a role model.
Aurora Omanika Inose grew up in Wikwemkong unceded territory on Manitoulin Island. She says she applied for Miss Indigenous Canada to be the person she needed to see when she was younger.
Doing this program, it's a very healing experience. It's kind of like I'm healing my inner child. And so I hope moving forward with this program, if I win, if I don't win, I just hope that I can inspire youth to be themselves, like entirely themselves, if they're silly, if they're goofy, and just to believe in themselves. I hope that's the path that I would like to leave.
It's a sentiment shared by Shaylin Allison of Garden River First Nation. For her, the journey is about embracing the uncomfortable.
One of the biggest themes in my life this year is again, why not me? And what is kind of scaring me, or where is there friction in my life, and how can I lean into that and do something uncomfortable and have something really good come from that?
Unlike traditional pageants, Miss Indigenous Canada focuses on cultural resurgence and community leadership. For Omanika Inose and Allison, that leadership started with finding their own place within their heritage.
I don't think I really understood as a young girl what it meant to be Indigenous until I moved home and kind of got that experience. I spent a lot of time going home to Wiki growing up, but I think moving home to Wiki, that was a really pivotal experience for me.
Being Ojibwe, Korean, being queer, all of these things that make up me, I didn't ever see myself or feel like I could do things. So I would hope that young Indigenous girls and women and people would just see there's always room for you and you can make room for yourself.
The title of Miss Indigenous Canada will be awarded in Brantford at the end of July. Both delegates say the work is already underway by shifting the focus from the stage to the community. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Finally tonight, the Tim Hortons Smile Cookie campaign returns in 10 days, and proceeds in North Bay will support the local Humane Society. 100% of the funds from the cookies will help injured, abandoned, and vulnerable pets. The Humane Society says money from cookie sales will support animal sheltering, veterinary care, dietary food, medicine, and vaccines. Each year, the Humane Society cares for more than 1,000 dogs, cats, and other animals.
We upgraded the entire HVAC system in the old shelter building, which improves the air quality in the building and is good for the animals in there. We also redid all of the kennel doors in the dog area in the old building. So both those combined were about a $400,000 project. The last 2 years, we made about $180,000 with Smile Cookies.
Smile Cookie proceeds at the Tim Hortons location inside the North Bay Regional Health Center will go toward the Hospital Foundation to fund X-ray equipment upgrades. The sweet treats are on sale April 27th to May 3rd. What great causes. I think Rick and Amanda Hicks and I are decorating cookies next week in Sudbury, so make sure you go out and get your Smile Cookies. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Friday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. You can also download our CTV CTV News app. Have a wonderful weekend. For those of you in communities under states of emergency dealing with flooding, I even live in one. Take extra care. Look out for one another, and we'll be updating the website as best we can. For the rest of you, thanks for watching, and we'll see you Monday. Good night.